Recently I was browsing YouTube and I found this video titled something along the lines of every glitch in Super Mario Odyssey. What do you mean every glitch in Super Mario Odyssey? I made a list, I'll have you know, with over 100 glitches on it, and there is no way you fit all of that into a 10-minute video. I am pissed. You know what? I'm gonna make my own glitch video. I've got the details, I've compiled my resources, and it's gonna contain every glitch in Super Mario Odyssey. Almost. I would argue that out-of-bounds glitches are the core of video game glitches. Almost every game seems to have some way you can escape outside the confines set by the developers, and Odyssey is no exception. Moon clipping is one of those core out-of-bounds methods found in Odyssey. All it takes is a moon near the right wall with room to do something like a backflip or a triple jump. A well-timed cap throw upon hitting the moon will cause Mario to be warped slightly, enabling wall clips. The most commonly used moon clips take advantage of moons as they spawn in, enabling players to be able to position Mario better for a clip, as well as making the timing much easier. Not all clips are that complicated, however. With something like crouch clipping, it's as simple as walking crouched into certain areas to clip out of bounds. These clips are often less practical and sometimes a little precise, but still a glitch nonetheless. Another simple one is church clip in Moon Kingdom. If we take a frog to the roof, a precise jump here is all it takes to clip inside and take a nice look around the new space. Unfortunately, not all clips are as accessible, like the version 1.0 exclusive Glide On Ledge clip. If we head to the top of the Wooded Kingdom painting platform with Glide On and go to this corner, we can slip through if we slowly approach the edge. Now this glitch isn't exclusive to one location, it can be done in the other corners of the platform as well as other parts of the game, it's just this one location is easiest to showcase. Late clip is an out-of-bounds glitch that's most known for its use in speedrunning. Like a lot of clips, it seems to follow that recurring theme of slipping into a corner to clip right out of bounds. This one's a bit more precise than some of the others, so typically it's best to do a setup on the wall beforehand. The coolest thing about this glitch is honestly its speedrun applications. With the proper out-of-bounds movement, runners are able to throw Cappy up to the painting checkpoint above, grab a quick moon, and then warp up to the painting platform, enabling another really quick moon. The strat is really hard to do fast, but super flashy and impressive. It's honestly just really cool. There's actually a lot of different clips that follow this ledge or corner clipping trend. To keep things simple, we'll call these seam clips, and there's about 100 of them listed by the community. Now I could play all those clips really fast and increase the counter by 100, but that would be boring, so we're going to show off a few and increase the counter by 1. The really fun thing about these clips is they almost never happen intentionally. Like most of the clips I'm showing now even seem to happen by accident, and the reason for that is these clips are incredibly precise. There is a big reason as to why I'm not getting this footage on my own. Another popular clipping method is the roll cancel clip. These can be seen a lot throughout the game, and while I'm sure there's some sort of list out there, I couldn't find one. These clips can range from being incredibly easy to insanely difficult. I wish there was some more consistency in the difficulty, but with the wide range of locations this can be done at, that just isn't possible. Some will always just be super precise, while others incredibly lenient. If roll cancel clips are too hard for you, we do have a very similar but easy clip known as the roll clip. This is a lot like the roll cancel clip with the fact that you have to roll at a wall, except you don't have to cancel the roll. So overall, these are a lot easier. Also, did you notice how a lot of the walls in Metro Out of Bounds you can just jump up against and then push through? Yup, that's another clip, and you sure as heck bet I'm counting it. Now with this next one we're already at 10, and fortunately I don't think the video is getting too long yet, but I have to write the script out for everything before editing it all together, so here's to hoping. But for now, scooter clip. This one's as simple as it sounds. The scooter is incredibly broken, and sometimes if you flail it at things, it'll just clip out of bounds. Hecking easy, except when it's not. There's also something we could call a partial scooter clip, where Mario never fully goes out of bounds, but can still collide with stuff through walls with the scooter. The best example of this is with the RC car moon, where you're able to grab it without a capture. The cool thing about this one is it's super useful for speedruns, and gets a lot of usage because of it. And if you're a fan of glitches that just so happen to be useful in speedrunning, we've got another one here with seaside boundary manipulation. This one is kind of weird, so I'll try to keep things simple. Basically, kingdoms need boundaries. They can't go on forever. In kingdoms like Seaside, these boundaries aren't always walls, however. When you reach the edge of the kingdom, the game will progressively push you back. We can manipulate this boundary, however, by taking a capture, uncapturing, moving away from the wall, recapturing, and repeating. Every time we do this, the force pushing you back resets, so you're able to go further and further past the boundary. The speedrun application comes in with another out of bounds glitch you're able to achieve using this glitch. To keep it simple, we'll call it Fish Clip, and all you have to do is perform one boundary manipulation at this specific spot. From there, we can reach an area with incomplete collision that lets us clip out of bounds. This allows you to do cool things like grab moons while out of bounds or enter the Sphinx room early, so it's pretty heckin' useful. One of the coolest out of bounds glitches though has to be the ᵃሌᵐᵒ clip. And you've probably guessed it, yes, it means we can clip out of bounds to the ᵃሌᵐᵒ. All it takes is some bouncing at the window with a well-timed uncapture and you can clip right out. This clip was actually a lot easier than I expected, so this could be a fun one to try yourself. I will warn you though, the ground acts like quicksand and sometimes you'll just die. You know, maybe this one wasn't as cool as I thought. Now there's actually a lot of similar clips to this one, like Typhoon Release clipping. It follows that same methodology of uncapturing something in a way that places Mario out of bounds. This is one of those things that the game often tries to prevent, but there's these select scenarios that make it possible. This whole similar clipping method thing honestly comes up a lot in this game. Like you could probably go on for hours and hours on different locations you can clip using the same glitch, racking up a list of hundreds of glitches, but why should we? In my opinion, it'd be much more interesting to show off the diverse set of glitches you can get in a game like Odyssey. So let's move on to the next set, hyperspeed glitches. Hyperspeed glitches are pretty self-explanatory. Make the Mario Man move fast. Unfortunately, there aren't really a lot of these in the game, but the ones that do exist are pretty cool, like Goomba hyperspeed. This hyperspeed glitch is pretty simple. Goomba momentum on slopes isn't effectively capped, so it's pretty easy to jump onto a slope, jump off of it, and then go really fast as a result. This is best shown on Wooded Kingdom if we take a Goomba all the way up to this slope near the observation deck. It's actually incredible how fast you're able to go if you do this. It can be fun just to climb up a few times and hop down to see how fast and far you're able to go. We've actually got another quick and easy hyperspeed glitch that's possible to perform in Wooded. All we have to do is take Glidon to the UFO fight, position him here, and hit the UFO. This will cause us to be knocked back into him, which for some reason makes us run really fast when we hit the ground. This one, unfortunately, isn't as fun as the last, but still cool enough to point out. This next hyperspeed glitch isn't so simple. As a matter of fact, we're going to need another glitch before we can even do it. You might know this one, it's the letter glitch. The way this works is pretty straightforward, but can be a bit tricky to perform. All you need to do is set up a few letters in the corner of the park here with the M specifically in this position. From here, we can drop the scooter on top of the M, capture it, push it inside the other letter, and then capture the other letter to bring it out of bounds. Now again, this is not easy and might take some time, but it is still possible. Once we've done that, we're able to perform the hyperspeed glitch. All we have to do is go near a taxi, uncapture the letter, let the taxi drive into it, capture and... Now the cool thing about messing with these letters is there's some other bonus glitches we get too besides the hyperspeed. The most notable of these being the jump rope glitch. If we bring a letter over to the jump rope after clipping out, we can sit on top and rack up score infinitely. There's also another out of bounds glitch I didn't mention earlier that lets you clip through most walls in the city. If we use the letter A, place it up against a wall like so, and slide down, we can clip out of bounds. This lets us clip inside a ton of different buildings, essentially for free, so it's pretty cool. Let's not get too distracted though, back to hyperspeed glitches. The next one is known as turnip hyperspeed and occurs whenever you're able to grab a turnip while you're out of bounds below any sort of floor. The clip here of the glitch being performed in the pot should be possible in all versions using the shown seam clip, but other methods like this one are version exclusive, which is unfortunate because they give us much more room to work with. To end off the hyperspeed section, I have saved for you guys the worst, most positively pointless hyperspeed glitch. No, just the most pointless glitch in the game, and yes, I'm only saying that because it has such cool potential, but it's so incredibly limited. This is Burning Mario hyperspeed. Basically, whenever Mario is in the burning state and on ice, he goes really fast. The downside of this is that you can only do it in an incredibly small area. Like, imagine how cool this would be if we had some long strip of ice to go across, but nope, we're limited to this tiny little area. But I mean, hey, if there's any mod makers out there, maybe this is a cool little thing you could implement into one of your challenges. Please, I just really would like to see this glitch get some use. Another one of my favorite glitch categories is the classic infinite height glitch, whether it be through creating some sort of unlikely flying machine or just by performing some really big jump. Infinite height glitches are cool, so you better enjoy these, right? Charging chuck hovering is a straightforward infinite height glitch that can be done as long as you have two of them in the same place and are in two-player mode. As long as they're facing each other, you can use the second controller to spam Cappy, making them magically float into the air. Another similar infinite height glitch is known as dog hovering. Unlike the last glitch, this one is only possible on older versions of the game, but I still thought it'd be fun to show off. This one works by jumping on top of the dog as they perform a jump, briefly stalling in the air, and then landing on them again as they perform another jump. Over time, you can do this again and again to get higher and higher, just like the last one. Don't worry though, there's infinite height glitches that are more creative and adventurous than the last two. Take the glide on infinite height glitch for example. If we walk off a slanted ledge and start flying with glide on, we'll enter a weird state I'd like to call angled flight. This state lets us change the vertical direction glide on is flying in, so instead of flying horizontally, they can fly up or down. The way this is controlled is simply by changing which direction you're flying in. This can make navigation up to certain high objects difficult, but definitely possible. Unfortunately, I only have one more infinite height glitch to show, but don't worry, it's a fan favorite. It's the totally real, I'm not making this name up, I swear, wet nut glitch. A lot of people may already be familiar with this one thanks to Smalland's minimum captures runs, but essentially the way this glitch works is by throwing a nut into the water to get it wet, and then doing some insanely precise movement in the air with the wet nut. Also, I should probably note that this glitch was patched out, so unfortunately you can't do it on the current version of the game. When it comes to infinite height glitches, there really isn't much else to show. Odyssey has a solid enough build backing it to where things like being able to jump infinitely off Cappy just didn't really make it to release. But don't worry, we still have plenty of other cool things to showcase. A sequence break is any sort of glitch or trick that lets you do things out of the order intended by the game. Kinda like how you, the viewer, may have just skipped here instead of appreciating the hard work I put into making this. But that's besides the point, I want to talk about glitches. The cool thing about sequence breaks in SMO is the most popular ones are usually pretty practical, meaning they tend to get decent use in speedrunning. Take this first one for example, that we'll call Bound Bull Early. This can be done in a few different ways, but to keep things simple, we're going to be looking at the version that uses a roll cancel clip. Essentially, if we can clip through a wall to get out of bounds in ᵃvelᵒ, we're able to jump down and hit the loading zone for the Bound Bull room without ever clearing away Bowser's blockade. Sometimes when performing glitches like this, you'll be locked out of clearing the next challenge, but in this case, we're actually able to go on and finish Bound Bull without any issue. First Moon Skip is another practical sequence break that was used in any percent back when 1.0 was the fastest version of the game. The trick is as simple as skipping over the first moon and doing a precise jump under an invisible wall to get to the other part of Cascade Kingdom. As long as you're on version 1.0, from here you can trigger the Madame Brutal fight and continue on with the game, completely skipping the first moon. Another sequence break we have is known as Inverted Pyramid Clip. This glitch has you doing a roll cancel clip at the entrance to the inverted pyramid to clip right inside without ever opening the door. This trick is actually insanely useful in speedruns like World Peace, where the story objective you skip is just too far out of the way to be worth getting. It's important to note that this roll cancel clip is insanely difficult and can take quite a while to set up and get if you aren't familiar with it. There's actually another even faster way to do this trick known as IP skip. The trick has you climbing up on the side of the inverted pyramid and doing this incredibly precise seam clip to get out of bounds, followed by some more incredibly tight movement to stay out of bounds until you can reach the top of the pyramid. Like the previous glitch, this lets you fight Harriet earlier without having to do the story moons that are supposed to come before it. The most famous sequence break though has got to be Moon Skip. This one doesn't let you skip any moons, but it does let you skip the entirety of the Moon Cave section, including a boss fight. This trick is pretty straightforward. Jump off the Sphinx, do a cat bounce, and a couple of precise wall jumps later, you can reach the top. From here, you can reach the church and finish Moon Kingdom in a time that would be nowhere near possible without it. A cool thing about a lot of the sequence breaks we've shown already is the fact that they have practical use in speedrunning, but not all sequence breaks need to do that. A good example would be almost every single painting moon early. To explain what I mean, there are these moons scattered throughout the game that you can grab by traveling through a painting. But the thing with a lot of these is you can kind of cheat the system and collect the moon without using the painting. A good example of that would be what we showed you earlier with Lake Clip, or what some speedruns do with this trick known as Snowdram. The thing is, you can do this in other kingdoms too, like Seaside, Cascade, and so on. Since you could argue these are more exploits than glitches, however, I don't want to dwell on them for too long, so let's move on. Crashes and softlocks have never really been my favorite part of SMO. When I think glitches, I'm expecting something cool to happen, something that'll feel worthwhile or interesting. Having the end result just be the game freezing is like opening up your Odyssey case, expecting pistachios, but then getting mac and cheese. Sure, I love mac and cheese, but I want pistachios, damn it. Our first softlock involves the scooter in Metro Kingdom. The glitch works as follows: grab the scooter, turn on the timer challenge, and grab the key right as the timer challenge ends. For whatever reason, this will softlock the game, trapping Mario as he's frozen in time. This next crash is a throwback to First Moon Skip, that glitch we showed off earlier. It's pretty simple. If you ever go back and try and grab the first moon after beating Madame Brutal, the game will crash. This essentially means that if you ever perform First Moon Skip, you are locking yourself out of being able to collect the first moon and 100% the game. There's actually another really easy crash involving keys known as the Zipper Key Crash. All you have to do is go to the Zipper sub-area in Lake, grab the key while in the zipper, and immediately warp afterwards. This crashes the game, and honestly, I have no clue why. You know, there's definitely more crashes and softlocks out there, but there is no way I'm going to spend the next 10 minutes saying, oh no, Mario crashed again, who would have thought? So hopefully these three are enough for you. This next section is probably my favorite. It really just encompasses the concept of weird garbage you can do with glitches. These are the wild cards. I really couldn't put any of these glitches into categories together, so I made a category for that. The first glitch I have to show off is known as a boss arena escape. These glitches are kind of like out of bounds or clipping glitches because you're escaping an area you're supposed to be stuck inside, though I don't really like grouping it with other out of bounds glitches because you're still getting back into other main areas of the game, just at a time you're not supposed to be there. Most of these are accomplished by forcing a bubble to spawn on Mario by doing some weird movement at the edge of the arena, but this can also be accomplished in other kingdoms like Luncheon by leaving Cappy behind when entering the fight, and using him to capture something outside the arena's boundaries. Coming up next is a visual glitch that makes use of the up route. It's actually super easy to perform. All you need to do is stretch the up route, cancel it, and immediately go into snapshot mode. Zooming in on the up route will display this glitchy mess of pixels that is almost painful to look at. I have absolutely no idea what causes this, but it's definitely a cool one. This next glitch is one of those glitches you could probably make a whole 10-minute video on, featuring all the wild intricacies about it, but gosh, I have a deadline. So to keep it simple, the coin coffer glitch is a glitch that lets you duplicate Mario. It's not too hard either. Turn on assist mode, capture the coin coffer, bring him to a fire bro, and recapture him once the fire bro lands on him. If you grab a moon after doing this, Mario will lose his corporeal form, but don't worry, assist mode will bring you back in exchange for the coin coffer's life. But hey, the existential nightmare doesn't end there. If you take damage and capture another uproot, you can poise yourself with the question of, who are you really? If I'm here, who's that? Doesn't matter, next glitch. The Dark Side Wrong Warp is one of those glitches that actually can be explained pretty clearly. If we go to the Metro-themed Yoshi sub-area in Dark Side, right at the beginning we can actually scale up the entire wall at a certain point. From here, we can carefully move ourselves across the tops of these buildings until we reach an invisible wall near the back. Here, you can actually clip through the wall to get around the invisible barrier and hit a loading zone the developers mistakenly left that leads you all the way to Metro Kingdom. In case you were wondering why that loading zone is there, it's actually the same loading zone the taxi hits in the original version of the area in Metro Kingdom, so it actually makes a ton of sense as to why doing this warps you to Metro. The next couple wildcards are glitches exclusive to the 1.0 version of the game, with our first being Frog Air Swimming. The cool thing about this glitch is its ability to let you skip the entirety of Darker Side. So if you'd like, you can maybe classify this as a sequence break, but let's not focus on that. How do you do this? Well, there's a couple of ways, but let's go over the Dory method. If we swim the frog right next to Dory and move slightly forward every time she bops down, we'll eventually be high enough to swim over the edges of the pond and fly horizontally through the air. The next 1.0 glitch is simply known as the Delete Mario glitch. All you have to do to perform it is use Cappy in 2-player mode to ground pound a piranha plant that Mario has captured. This will cause you to be unable to uncapture, but don't worry. As a bonus, if you put Cappy inside another piranha plant, the game will crash as he comes out. Don't worry, we still have glitches to show that work on the current version of the game, such as Daylight Savings Time Abuse, or DSTA. The name DSTA comes from the way this glitch is used by speedrunners. Basically, the Switch's internal clock is what determines the growth of seeds in the game. So what you can do is, after planting the seed, manually change the time and have it instantly grow. Though the way speedrunners abuse this is by changing the clock to several minutes before daylight savings time, so that by the time they plant the seed, the clock will automatically jump forward an hour, making the plant once again grow instantly. Globe storage, the next glitch, is honestly a pretty arbitrary one, and you might begin to notice if you haven't already that a lot of these glitches are pretty pointless. The way this one works is simple. If you throw a Cappy at the globe and turn away as he lands on it, you can store Cappy on the globe. This means whenever you look back at the Odyssey, you will immediately warp to it and be prompted to leave the kingdom. We actually get a bonus glitch out of this one, because if you want, you can soft lock the game by starting trace walking and using globe storage to try and leave the kingdom after. This will, again, soft lock the game. You're stuck. Another minor glitch that can be done is known as Goomba slope skating. The way it works is simply by capturing a Goomba on a slope and spamming the jump button. This enables the Goomba to maneuver on slopes that you wouldn't be able to otherwise, as long as you're still spamming jump. Sticking with the trend of capture glitches, there's actually a really simple glitch you can do with Cheep Cheeps to make them ghosts. Essentially, all you need to do is uncapture them while they're fading away out of water. When they respawn, they'll have this interesting transparent state. There's another similar glitch you can do, but with objects instead, known as the invisible objects glitch. All you have to do for this one is throw certain objects like rocks and immediately enter first person afterwards. This will make them invisible. That's it. That's the glitch. Another quick one is the mini time stop glitch. The way this one works is simply by dropping a lava bubble into this bowl and looking away. This will cause everything to freeze up until you look back towards the pot and let the cutscene finish. This next glitch actually has a special place in my heart. The reason being, I actually scripted an entire video, recorded voice lines, and even got some footage of the glitch, but never finished the video. Isn't that fun? The glitch itself is called rock sliding, and it's pretty similar to the turnip hyperspeed glitch we saw earlier, except it's boring. Basically, if you grab a rock through the floor, you can use it to slide around slowly. You know, I'm starting to understand why I didn't finish the video. How about we do a fun glitch then, scooter moon jumping. This one can be a bit finicky to set up, but fortunately it can be a fun one to mess with. If you go on a slope with the scooter and begin to jump and accelerate forward, you'll get these really weird moon jumps that you can chain together. If you want, you can use this to travel around Metro Kingdom in ways you wouldn't have been able to before, but you have to be a bit careful, as trying to set this up in some spots can clip you through the floor. Alright, well I can't let things get too exciting though. Here's another pointless glitch that we'll call Stretchy Wiggler. Basically, if you walk off an edge while holding the stretch button on a wiggler, they will become long for a brief moment of time before falling again. Yes, this glitch is in fact as pointless as it sounds. This next glitch is probably one of my favorites in the game though, and it's known as the time stop glitch. Unfortunately, it's only possible in older versions of the game, but still, take a look. The glitch is triggered by capturing a Goomba stack while it's on a life apart. This will essentially freeze time, stopping enemies in their tracks and even making it possible to walk on things like lava. There isn't really much more to explain here, but man is it just cool to see everything frozen in time like this. Unfortunately, it's now time for me to present you with the last glitch we have for the day. It's called sky swimming. Through all the research I did, it seems still years after people first encountered this glitch, nobody knows what causes it. It can occur in Seaside and Lake Kingdom and basically misplaces all the water in the kingdoms so you can magically start swimming in the air. Unfortunately, due to the rarity of this glitch, I couldn't find many good clips, and it seems that the lake version of this glitch that occurred is just lost to time because I couldn't find it anywhere. I think this glitch is going to be one of those glitches that unfortunately remains a mystery forever, but only time will tell. Okay, so before you start complaining that the video is over and I only showed off 55 glitches, I actually have 19 more glitch videos on the channel, most of which weren't shown off here. So if you're interested in some more in-depth content, go watch those. Either way, I'm incredibly happy that I finally got to make this video because I've had the idea for a while. If you'd like me to continue this series for other games, let me know. Consider leaving a like as well as subscribing, because only a small portion of my viewers are. It's free, you know the deal, you've heard it before, and thanks again for watching.